you're going to learn how to fully lean into something. And I do mean lean into it fully. I want you to imagine this for a moment. The exercise leap of faith, right? Of what it means when you do a trust fall, right? When you don't fully trust the people around you, there is a way that you fall that assures that even if you stumble or if they don't catch you, you still have the option to brace yourself. You can pick yourself back up because you don't trust it. But when you fully surrender to whoever it is that's behind you, there is a level of trust that you have to let your whole body weight lean into it, lean into the back of it. And see, that's why this channeled message is surrounding leaps of faith. There is a leap of faith that you're stepping into, and it's surrounding first with what it means to lean into it fully. There's a way that you show up when you trust something. And it always shows up in your actions, right? See, when you don't fully trust, you do the same thing you do when it comes to a trust fall. When you don't fully trust, you brace yourself. You're like, nah, well, if this don't work out, let me do this. But when you fully lean into something, when you fully lean into a decision, when you fully lean into your gifts, when you fully lean into your promise, there is a difference. And you will feel the difference. And see, here's what I got from that when it comes to the channeled message, right? When I originally got the message in the morning, I got it as if God was talking to me in terms of what it means to be fully supported in something. Because the first thing I heard was, be still and know that I am God. And when I saw that, when I got that, I got this vision of literally you standing. I hate to say this because I've heard a tarot reader say it recently, so I don't want to just verbatim copy her. But it's like standing in the middle of a tornado, or standing in the middle of an ocean and a wave is about to crash. And instead of you running away from it, you lean into it. And that's what I mean. You're about to step into something. You're about to step into your mission, step into your purpose because, see, God has this very specific path laid out for you. And you know exactly what I'm talking about because you know what it feels like to lean into something that isn't for you. When you leaned into those relationships, you lean. And when I say lean, I mean that you put your full body weight on it. You put your full support, your full belief, your full faith in something that you knew that it's not meant to sustain you full term. Temporary things that you put your whole body weight on that ended up crashing because they didn't have the capacity to receive you. But there is a promise. There is you activating that you are about to fully lean into. And when I say this is actually kind of fun, right? Because I want you guys to think of it in terms of being an artist. When these people come up with this persona of who they are, or just exaggerate who they already are. Think of Nicki Minaj, right? I don't know her full story personally, but I can imagine when she started doing those those mannerisms were a bit odd. Before it was popular, the shit was crazy. So I can see how some people were that's not gonna stick. She's manic, you know what I mean? But the way that she fully leaned into that persona, the way that she fully leaned into embodying Nicki Minaj, that's what I mean. And that's why I feel this lighter, fun energy. And I had to actually re-record this message. I don't know if this one is gonna stick, but I had to re-record this because the first message had a lot more to do with the spiritual side of it. And yes, that is true. But there is a fun side of this, right? Because with God, right, when he teaches you lessons, sometimes they can come in the form of very, very harsh, right? When you first learn what it meant to be in a relationship that wasn't for you. When you leaned on people that didn't actually support you or didn't have the bandwidth to support who you really are. And you crashed that time, but you got back up and you tried it in your career and you leaned on that. And then you leaned on this, and all of those things, they couldn't hold you and couldn't sustain you. It gets harder every time to put your full weight, your full trust into something. But see, you're coming up on a season now where God is going to love you through this next lesson. And not every lesson is meant to be hard. He's going to love you through this next season because he's going to teach you how to lean into him. Don't fight him. I just heard, don't fight me on this. Lean into me. Put your full body weight onto me. It's like, I don't know if you guys do yoga, but I do. And one of the main things that they teach you when you're settling into poses, or like if the concept of grounding yourself, is that you have to breathe into feeling what's underneath you. You have to trust and put your full body weight on what's supporting you. For example, with this chair, right? If I didn't trust that this chair was sturdy enough to hold me, I would probably be sitting up a little bit different, right? But the fact that I trust that it has 4 legs that are sturdy enough and a back to be able to support me, I sit in it differently. And that's what I mean in terms of your career, in terms of what you're about to take a leap of faith on. You're about to lean into it with so much trust and faith because, and I'm going to say this, you'll know you're about to step into this because your level of curiosity is going to peak. The curiosity that you're about to have in terms of like wanting to test the waters on your faith is about to take you to heights that is going to far succeed anything that you and I can even imagine right now. And I say that because like it's change, it's growth. So even with me giving you this message right now, you're probably not even going to be able to fully fathom what this is going to lead to. And you're not meant to. You're just meant to lean fully into this. I'll give you an example of what it may look like, right? Let's say, for example, you've been dabbling around in the entertainment industry. You've been playing around with music, playing around with acting, getting yourself familiar with the creative lane. And then one day you have a thought, curious thought. And you go, I wonder how far I can go with this. I wonder what I would do if I fully leaned into this. Who would I become? What would I do? Where would I go? Who would I be? That curiosity is like a breadcrumb that you're going to follow and sniff out like a dog. Like it's one of God's subtle ways of like guiding you towards something. Because again, I say this all the time, but what you're attracted to and what you're curious about is different from person to person. What I like, you may not like. What I notice, you may not notice. So what you're drawn to and what you're called to do is for a reason. If you're drawn to sing and act and dance, if you're drawn to the entertainment industry, and I keep bringing this up, it's coming up almost every time now in the messages that pertaining to your career, or it's just something creative. I feel like, especially if this is like entrepreneurial, I feel like you're about to lean into it in such a way that like, and it's not even gonna be, you know what it is? I feel like God is like tricking you out of getting in your own way. Like he's tricking you out of getting in your head about it by just making you do seemingly impulsive acts. Like he's gonna be like one day you're gonna be like, well, this is interesting. Let me just post this. This is interesting. Let me just try this. Let me just message this person. Let me just do this. It's gonna be so subtle, which is going to be a nice shift for you because you thought that this next shift was gonna be so chaotic and I need to do this and I'm so worried and you should probably start entertaining the fact that this next step is gonna be easier than you thought. I mean, it'd be nice if you just allowed yourself to be rested Huh? Jesus.